LinkedIn is the most fake place you can go because everyone is writing with the AI and then people are responding with AI.
We usually write whatever we want to say and we put it in a teleprompter and we read off of it. But PS doesn't do it. PS actually has everything stored here.
What we learned was that your ideas mean nothing. Execution is everything. Everything you want in life is a gap between how much you're making right now and how much you want to make. And this space is called the space of discontentment. तो हमने बोला यार को मोटिवेट कैसे करें तो 2-3 तरीके हैं यू कैन यूज द विद एक काम क्यों नहीं हुआ एक ठीक से करो.
That is what I've learned, like 4 hours talking to you and you're telling me go study, Akanksha.
People are hating you for saying this right now.
FinShots TV is now a part of Zerodha's 01 network, and together we plan on bringing you stories that impact your day-to-day lives, sometimes without you realizing it. So do consider liking this video, sharing it with your friends and subscribing to our channel.
So I have this question for you. You were born in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
You traveled to Malaysia and all, lived in Africa, Malaysia, many countries, Singapore. But then there's these people who sent me this question. All these financial scammers were telling me, but why are you after everyone who's trying to scam people in India? Why Indian scammers? मतलब आप उनका धंधा पानी क्यों बंद करना चाहते हैं? What about other countries? No. Why not go there?
Oh, I mean, I stay in India, so India. But I think the question is, why do we talk so much about how to save yourself from scams?
Yeah.
So I think financial industry is very interesting. The incentives for the person who's talking to you is marketing a product, and he's trying to sell a product to you. And usually these products carry commissions. Insurance is a very good example. Ditto. And
Link in description.
so it's very So it's very easy for Shri Hits to say, please ye insurance le lo, because he's making a better commission on it. But for whatever reason, he doesn't do it. And that's how they've built a moat around honesty, etc. But for most of the country or most businesses, that doesn't make business sense. Now, because mutual funds are being missold, insurance is being missold, broking is being missold, courses are being missold. When I say missold, I think there is something interesting there. You can sell anything you want, but when you misrepresent it in a certain way, that's when a scam happens. The person ka expectation kuch hai, but actually kuch aur hai. So if all the players who have marketing might to make videos, make content, make this, are getting that by scamming people, then who do you listen to that you can actually trust? Health and finance are two places jahan pe if you scam or there's misinformation, there is material harm to that person, either financially or if it's health, then well, it's health. So like if someone goes and says new study shows if you smoke 20 times a day, cancer chala jata hai. This will actually affect someone, and there are people who will believe this. So there has to be a JC over there who tells people what is black and white. And I think how will India produce people who will be honest, who are not selling a product? Even did in LearnApp, when we were incentivized to sell products to our customers, we never did. We just did pure knowledge. Today is the same. We don't sell any financial products. And hopefully we're the only unbiased or one of the few unbiased people out there who can actually tell you what is the truth without gaining anything from it. So because there's so much scam, I guess we exist because there's a trust deficit in the industry.
Hey guys, if you like our work at FinShots, do consider checking out Ditto. Ditto is our sister company and they are trying to make insurance simpler for people like you and me. If you're thinking of reviewing your insurance needs, why don't you book a free call with Ditto Insurance's IRDAI certified advisors? The link is in the description.
So I went undercover and there are a few things that I got to know about all these scams that are happening in the market. And I really want your help in uncovering them and understanding them.
Did you fall for any of them?
No, not yet.
I'll be the judge.
That's why I'm here. So this was like a joint investigation that both our teams did. And so this is what we uncovered. So I use a lot of Twitter, and on my Twitter, I kept getting these messages that because you followed, say, Abid, who runs Sensible, we have something specially for you. Like, they didn't know I know Abid. So they were like, this is something that he has designed And this is a Telegram group where like-minded people come together and talk. Just because you follow Abid, so we know you have these interests, where like-minded people come and we discuss about stocks. So you can join, it's free of cost.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, might as well. So I joined it. And once I joined it, it was incredible. Okay, so there's this one person, like every day, there'd be this admin account who would put out these like calls, okay? Like, so one of it, for example, was at Bank Nifty 52,500 CE buy now. Okay, he'd do it. And there'd be like 3 or 4 calls like that every day.
Yeah.
So we'd put up the screenshots. And then suddenly for 1 or 2 of them, he'll be like, wow, target hit. Okay, 27% profit, something like that. And then there'll be like a slew of people, because there's like some 2,000 people in that group. And there'd be like a slew of people going, thank you, sir, thank you, sir, thank you, sir, thank you, sir, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And then, I think around 7-8 days later, like I didn't do anything. I didn't say thank you, sir, or anything. I was just there in the group. And then around 7-8 days later, from that admin, I get a DM saying that just for 25,000 rupees, I could join the super VIP group.
Yeah.
Which has 95% accuracies, because in this general group, they give us 4 trades and maybe 2 of them hit target.
So if you want more, you want the
More accuracy, I can join this super VIP group just for 25,000 rupees.
Good deal.
Yeah. So is it a good deal? Is it a good deal though?
Actually, to understand this,
Yeah.
We need to understand how normal human behavior works, something that we're all familiar with. So if you go out, let's say to Bali, and you have to choose one of the 4 restaurants, how would you pick? Because you don't know what they're selling, you don't know about the local cuisine. You would look at the line.
Okay.
You'd see a physical line outside, and yes, you would look at the reviews. No one trusts the person selling the product. You look for social proof. And social proof comes in many forms. It's people standing outside, people smiling and eating. If you see enough people out there, other people aren't in other stores, you would choose to stay and queue in line and then go in. Which is why a lot of nightclubs, even if they're empty on the inside, maintain a line outside so that it seems like the club is hot. The line outside ensures that you can charge a lot inside, even if it's empty. So it has nothing to do with filling up capacity. That's very interesting. Another reason why Rolex doesn't write its prices when you go inside and ask for a Rolex watch, if you did, they would say this is not for sale. And they won't give you the price either. So all these things create craving for what you want and create some social proof. Now, on the internet, there is no line. So you have to rely on reviews. So on Amazon, you'll read reviews. On anywhere else, actually, you would read reviews on the platform. Now, Amazon and all the other platforms are trustable, so you would trust those reviews. But the moment you take this and put it inside a Telegram, what we don't realize is that the seller and the audience, and the fake people saying that bahut acha hai, are the same people. So when you enter it, the person is actually selling you tips. He's actually selling you greed. So this is actually something that's very common. Whenever a scamster is selling you something, he'll first sell you a story. And that story is anchored in greed. And there will be immediately a monetary outcome that you will get a car, you will get 10,000 rupees, 45% return. Some greed will be anchored to it. And then there'll be some social proof. In this case, you would probably have bots.
Yeah.
You can fully automate it in Telegram. As soon as someone enters, this message should go. And then everyone should say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Fully automatable. You can run 100 channels like this. So imagine there can be, 500 Akanshas doing this. And even if 10% of them fall for it and pay 20,000 for the
Super VIP group.
Just in case you had any doubt, it's
Super VIP.
you'd pay, there's 200 people would pay 20,000 rupees for that week. And it's just a great business. All you have to do is get people in the door.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing the cost of acquiring you was 0 because they didn't want an ad. They just a message.
Yeah, it's a DM on Twitter. And I'm like, I'm curious. I want to see what that is. So that's the first one. And then the second one.
You did another scam.
I didn't do another
Sorry,
scam.
sorry.
I was targeted for another scam. A bit of it, put it.
Maybe some of them are valid. Let's see.
Okay, yeah. So I was just going through Instagram and I get this ad for like a free masterclass to learn technical analysis. Okay.
Okay.
And I am curious and I wanted content for this video. So I signed up because it was free of cost.
Okay.
And it was on a Sunday.
Okay.
So I have time. So it was like a 2-hour class. And I do get to learn like a few things about technical analysis. I like the very basics of it.
Yeah.
How do I read charts? What are a few patterns that can be made? What to understand from such patterns? It was nice. It was like a nice 1.5 hours. And then they were like, we also have this master course that you can sign up for. And it's incredible.
Yeah.
Now that you've told me about social proof, I get it, because then there were like people who had already signed up for that course coming in and saying how much money they made. They were like testimonials.
Oh, that was happening.
That was happening in the course. Like, so I think 1.5 hours was them teaching me, like them teaching us, because it was on Zoom and there were a lot of people on it, teaching us about how to read patterns. And then the next like 15-20 minutes were like these people coming and saying that like I was a noob.
There's a video, there's actual people coming.
Like on video, they were just showing these videos.
Okay.
Like, I think it was pre-recorded. But so yeah, they were selling that course for some 15,000 rupees. Like for just 15,000 rupees, I can secure my future.
Yeah.
And I thought I'll maybe ask PS and see. I'll maybe forego that discount. And I maybe ask PS if it's a good deal.
Okay, cool. So same thing when you entered. So let's look at the funnel.
Yeah.
You entered this class, attended it. You actually learned something
I
for
did.
1.5 hours. Very similar to LearnApp and what Varsity Live does.
Okay.
The class is also free, except we don't ask to buy anything. It's free throughout. But anyway, and then you have testimonials promising you to make a very large sum in a short period of time.
Yeah.
And then you have a time limit and discount. Now, there is nothing wrong in any of this.
Yeah.
A free class, that's absolutely fine. You're learning something, absolutely fine. Buy my course, also fine. They're running a business. What's wrong is the expectation that you can make 100% return in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Selling greed is the problem, because that is certainly not possible. It's not happening. It's a lie. Buddhu mat bano. It is bullshit.
Okay. How do you meet Nithin? Like, once the story there?
Should I tell you the actual story?
Yes, the actual one. The true story, because unfiltered Prateek Singh.
Now I can tell. No, it's long time now.
Oh, you can tell, yeah.
No, it's okay.
Oh, you can tell.
I love everyone.
Yes.
Please keep this in the video.
Yeah.
So, when I was doing that, when I was on traderg.com and posting my trades, Nithin had already seen me and many other people. He was on a pseudonym. So it was not Nithin, it was something else, Sunil or something.
Which year is this?
2014.
Okay.
And he saw over here, and then I started marketscientist.in. I learned PHP, and then I coded a website and created Market Scientist blog. And I said, Mashable is this tech blog. I'll create the finance version of blog, because it seems like Labnol and all these guys are making so much money from Google AdWords. I'll also make some money from Google. I'll start blogging. So I started writing, who is the woman, who is the girl behind Parle Ji, Gunjan Gundania. It's very Finshot style, actually. And then another one was, WhatsApp will become $1 billion business. Here's why. These were the blogs that I would write. And no one would do it. In 2014, like, no one would write this, right? And I was designing it and stuff. And in school, I had partly paid for a little bit of my fees by doing designing while in school on Photoshop and stuff. Getting magazines printed, doing all that in school. So I was obsessed with design. Still am today. And I still do design. I was doing it last night also. So when we built this, I got a call from California. And I'm like, California se call back in family aata tha. So I picked it up. He's like, hey, is this Prateek Singh? I said, oh, Terry. I'm like, yes. And then he says, this is, I'll tell you the name later.
Yeah.
This is XX from RKSV. And, we love what you're doing on your website. I mean, we should definitely partner. I'm like, thank you. Thank you. He's like, your tech team also must have done a great job. I'm like,
Yes.
they are great. My tech team is very good. Is that okay? And he start talking, and he basically says, can you create a form on your website? You be neutral about it. But if someone wants to open an account with us, they fill it up, you send us the lead. And this is very standard. Zerodha had also spoken to us, Composite Edge, there were a bunch of brokers. And they all did this, and they said, you send us the lead, and if the lead converts, you make something.
Affiliate.
Affiliate, right? So I was like, no, I want to affiliate. I am educator. I want to build a trading academy, investing academy to teach and do finance teaching. So he's like, look, dude, there's nothing special about what you do. To his credit, I kept asking him, what should I do? What should I do? And he kept advising me, do this because I'm giving you the opportunity. And he was 1,000,000% right. I should have just done that. But whatever, I was just stupid. And he's a far astute businessman than I am. And then I said, no, this doesn't make sense. He's like, I don't know, dude. I said, what should I do that you will partner me? He's like, dude, you're just a blog. You should make videos, right? No one makes videos in India.
Okay.
I said, what? And then I went to Shipra Mall in Ghaziabad. Dad got me a camcorder. We flipped it open. We took 2 tube lights, tied it to Fata.
Yeah.
Fata ko side mein rakha, and I made my first video. And then Z Business called me. He's all connected to Nithin, by the way. Z Business called me. He's like, बहुत बढ़िया आप काम कर रहे हैं, आप क्या शो में आएंगे? But पहले फोन पे शो होगा. मैंने बोला ठीक है. मैं फोन रखा ना ऑलरेडी मार दिया. Z Business.
Okay.
Because I just a dude with us making videos, right? And YouTube, the finance content is in 14, like
Way too early.
way too early. So then Z Business calls. I do a phone call. I'm on TV, and then they're like, you have to come to the studio. सुबह 6 बजे का शो या 7 बजे का शो.
Yeah.
Fast Money with Dipali Rana. If you're watching this, Dipali, thank you very
Let's
much.
go.
And I showed up. You know how I was on Z Business?
How were you?
I didn't get a call, man. I wanted to be on TV so bad. Noida, we went in the studio, and I walked inside Z Business uninvited. And I said, I'm looking for Sumit or Sachin or something like that. And he said, Sachin to आज है नहीं.
Okay.
मैंने बोला उन्होंने तो बुलाया था. मैं आपको कॉन्टेक्ट दे देता हूँ. आप भी प्रोड्यूसर ही हो गए. आप बड़े बनठन के बैठे हो. आप भी प्रोड्यूसर. कहता हाँ जी हम तो है नहीं था प्रोड्यूसर. And then I showed him my website, showed him everything. He's like नहीं बहुत बढ़िया है. मैं सुमित साहब की कल बात कर रहा था. मैंने सर दोबारा नहीं आ सकता, बहुत दूर से आए. आप प्लीज बता दीजिए मेरे को, आपको बढ़िया लग रहा है तो मुझे चांस दीजिए, मैं आ जाऊंगा. And that's how I went on TV for the first time. Just हाथ जोड़ के पहुंच गया, प्लीज मेरे को कर दो. And then he said we'll do it on the phone. You can't show up. Let's see.
Okay.
So it was because of the videos.
You just walk into Film City, Sector 16. I'm here for my show.
Please.
You can just do things.
No, I was like, please.
Yeah, but that's the thing. No, you can just do things. You just walk this like studio, like, ये मेरा channel है.
Like crazy. Did you know that? You know that.
This pulling more views than you, by the way. 100% market share.
So then kept going to so they don't pay you anything.
Yeah.
So I always assumed that मैं लाखों मिल जाएंगे मुझे, कुछ नहीं हुआ. So they had this rule. You can't talk about your business. I can't be like marketscientist.in pe jao.
Yeah.
Because I had started listing a course over there. Like you can't mention it. So I said, okay. So I designed a market scientist banner and I cut it like this is a face market scientist. I cut it and I put it in my pocket. And then this is the anchor and this is me. I can't believe I'm telling you this.
Yeah.
And then I opened the laptop and she's like, नमस्कार गुड मॉर्निंग. आप देख रहे हैं निफ्टी खुलने वाला है यहाँ पे. एसजीएक्स में 15% ऊपर चला गया. हमको लगता है आज देखते हैं कि स्टॉक पिकिंग करनी चाहिए कि सेंसेक्स की बढ़ावट में कहाँ खरीदी जाए. हमारे जुड़ चुके हैं प्रतीक सिंह. बताइए प्रतीक सिंह, आपको क्या लगता है कौन सा स्टॉक खरीदा जाए? ऐसे बोलते हैं. एंड आई ओपन द लैपटॉप एंड आई टेक दिस आउट, आई स्टिक इट हियर. आई एम लाइक नमस्ते दीपाली. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. अब तो लाइव है, अब थोड़ी हटाएंगे. तो सडनली ऑन कैमरा आई हैव मार्केट साइंटिस्ट डॉट इन स्ट्रीमिंग. आई एम लाइक नमस्कार दीपाली, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया और मेरी राय है. Go on and start talk. I still have that video. It's uploaded on the channel. And that's then how we started getting initial traffic to the website.
Yeah.
And then, okay, here's where I answer your question finally. And
No, I'm getting a lot of like content here. It's amazing.
so I'm talking. I'm like, dude, there's so many people. इतना competition हो रहा है, मैं तो पीछे रह जाऊंगा. Notice we all think about this in our careers, right? And I was also thinking about how will I become the best guest on Z Business? Because everyone would come and be like, and they knew so much more than me. I was young, right? 2014 minus like 36 now. So I was like, can you do the math? 24, right? I was 24 and I was on TV and everyone is like 40 and they're smart and they're like, hey, CAGR. I'm like, CAGR? They were really, CapEx ka ye ho gaya. I'm like, CapEx, fuck. So they were smart and I was like, I don't think I can. So what I can do is, I'm good at talking, right? So I'll become dramatic. So they're like, Prateek Singh, aapko kya lagta hai market ka? I'm like, Namaskar Deepali and good morning India. And I started doing this really bad dramatic intro, and I became known for that dramatic, yaar, ye aise kyun baat kar rahe ho? And on the other side of the world, of India, Mumbai, CNBC studio or Z Business studio, inside the makeup room is Raghu Kumar, co-founder of RKSV.
Bombay studio.
Cut to Bombay studio, and Raghu Kumar is watching me while he's getting his makeup done, I guess, waiting for him to go on the absolute next show, like 10 minutes through. And he sees me doing all this drama. He's like, dude, who is this clown? Call him. And then I get a call. He's like, hi, I'm calling from RKSV, our promoter. Raghu wants to speak to you. And then I knew that the California guy was also the promoter. And he's the reason why we did like videos and mentor. So it started this entire thing. I'm like, sure, cool. And I go meet him. And then he's like, dude, we like what you do. Your videos are awesome. Where'd you get the idea to do videos? I'm like, me. I thought about it. And then we started talking. And then he's like, send me the proposal. We'd like to do a academy with you. I'm like, oh, okay. And I send in the proposal. I'm like, अब इनको भेजा है तो Zerodha को भी भेज देते हैं. So I sent it to Zerodha and didn't get a reply. And there's this guy called Salman who was heading sales at Zerodha, who I knew. So I said, dude, I've sent this. I don't know if Nithin will see it, but if you can, please. He's like, cool. He'll see it if it's good. Thanks. And then Raghu's like, hey, you should come on. You should come in 2 weeks from now. Yeah, I said, yeah, I'll be free on Wednesday. Come to Bombay. I'm like, lekin ticket ke prices, like, we'll send the tickets. I'm like, cool. And then I get a message from Nithin. And he says, hey, dude, just saw I was down with fever. I'm better now. I still have that email. And do you think we'll get on a call? I said, yeah. And then I responded late. So then Salman called. He's like, dude, you didn't respond. So Nithin is coming on Saturday to South Extension. Okay. You meet him only. He liked your presentation. He wants to spend time with you. I'm like, what? Okay. And even back then, to me, Nithin was a big deal. And I just saw him as like, wow, he's just doing such an amazing job. I could never do this. And he said, I'll be South Extension. This is the restaurant. Immediately, Raghu ka phone aa gaya. And he's like, bro, what's up? What's going? He became friends. I'm like, oh, you know, Nithin, he's meeting me on Saturday. He's like, what? You meeting Zerodha? I'm like, yeah, I'm meeting on Saturday. He's like, really? Okay. I'll call him back. He puts the phone down. And I'm not making fun of Raghu. I love you, Raghu. And then he calls. And then he's like, dude, I just sent tickets. You'll meet us on Friday before you meet Nithin. I'm like, okay, bro. So I go down to Bombay, meet all of them. Really smart, really humble, really kind, all of that. And met them. And then we'll have a look at this cut before you put it out, okay? Okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
And then right now I'll just say it.
Yeah.
And then we went out to this bar and it was great music, and I was like, these guys are amazing. And itni izzat, to be honest, kabhi mili nahi thi, right? No one gave so much of respect, and years of self-doubting, someone comes and validates and said that this is good. It just felt good, to be honest. And to be honest, there was no business plan. There was no, I'm not being sharky. I don't think I'm smart that way anyway. And they're like, you figured it out, let's partner. I'm like, cool, I've run this company, PS Market Scientist, we can both partner. He's like, okay, all the best. So they did their best to write. And then next day I met Nithin, and Nithin was all the same things again. Super smart, he knew so much. And he already imagined this future, which I did not. He's like, oh, you need a certificate, you need modules, you need a map. He said all of it. And I'm supposed to know it, but he somehow knew. He has this way of knowing the future, I feel. It's happened multiple times, and I'll tell you other instances. I don't know how he does it, but I don't know. And when he gives me advice about my business, he's almost always right. So I don't know how that happens. And then I had to choose between them. So I made the obvious choice. I chose RKSV, the Mumbai company.
Okay.
And I don't think it's a bad choice. I think it's fine. It is what it is.
Okay.
So there were 30 people back then, as far as I remember. I learned so much over there. I was operating from here. They were out of Bombay, but just on phone calls and stuff, I never knew about their broking business because I just did education. So I didn't know how a broking business ran because I'm doing it here. I'm just doing videos. And I said, YouTube nahi hona chahiye. YouTube bakas hai. Who goes on YouTube? Is bullshit. I'll make private videos and we'll play it on Vimeo behind a paywall, and the first few videos will be free, and we'll figure it out. And this is online, no YouTube. Okay, so YouTube we did for a few months, and then I got this, I stopped. No YouTube. So I'm taking these videos, animating them, all of that, and something amazing happened. One of my trips in Bombay is like, dude, we should rename the company. No one remembers RKSV. So I'm like, you know what? We should call it Wealth Box.
Okay.
Wealth Box is such an awesome name. He's like, no, I think I have a better name. I'm like, cool, what's your name? He's like, I think this name will do well. I'm like, I don't think so. And I'm looking at the name. I'm like, this is a terrible name. And he's like, no, I think this name will do really well. It just makes sense to me if we brand it. I'm like, but it means nothing. He's like, no, it does. It's Upstocks. I'm like, what? So now when you look back, you're like, oh, that's Upstocks. And of course, he was right. In all of these stories, I'm the dumb one. These are all smart entrepreneurs doing things, and I'm clueless about what's happening. And they build Upstocks. At some point, I realized I don't have the capability to run a company, take care of a team, figure out a business model, make a profit. And I didn't. I think that way Trade Academy did so many things right, but because of my leadership, it didn't do well. And to RKSV, Upstocks' credit, they never said Prateek did that job. They always said, amazing, really good. But at some point, I was like, dude, this is not working. And I think I could have made it work if there was a smarter entrepreneur, but mere se nahi hua. So I said, I don't think this is working out. You guys did everything. I can't ask for anything more. So we'll just call off the partnership. And to their credit, they took it very well. To this day, a lot of I've learned has come from that. But that's how that shut down. And I said, now I'm going to go to the pool at 2 p.m. I'm going to do MMA at 4 p.m. At 7 p.m., I'm going to do blah, blah, blah. I was already married. Swati was complaining about her company and she wanted to quit. But I stopped the partnership. I'm like, ab tum kamao tu, tum kamao, tum rent bharo, tum sab kuch karo. I am going to just enjoy my life. So I'm sure you didn't know all of this.
No. I don't think anyone knows all
Yeah,
of this.
So I did, and she's like, I wanted to quit, and now you stop this partnership.
Yeah.
Why? So I'm like, nahi ho raha tha mere se, I'm not smart. So self-doubt crept in a lot. I'm like, wow, I don't understand any of this. Main kahan Forbes soch raha tha? I can't even do 10% team. So all that felt really bad and totally my fault, right? Like me. So then I get a call, I think a few weeks into this, and it says Nithin Kamath on Truecaller. And I'm like, oh my God. And I pick up the call, I'm like, hello. He's like, hey, sup. I'm like, who's this? It makes sense. Hey, Nithin from Zerodha. I'm like, oh yeah, of course. He's like, what's up? How's it going? I think I emailed him or something happened, and then he called. And then he was elder brother more then also. He's like, come over to Bangalore. We'll talk. I said, okay, we'll talk, but I need the tickets because he's calling you. Okay. And then you're asking for ticket. I'm like, matlab ticket kaise jaunga? It's expensive, 8,000 rupees. He's like, no, I'll reimburse you, please come. So I said, he must be calling because, he just started Rain Matter. So cool, I'll go with the deck.
Oh.
So I went with the tech, and the tech said, we will have a website where you put in a formula and it will automatically trade for you.
Oh.
He's like, so I went with that deck and he's like, sorry, I've already invested in Streak. So I can't do it. Back then, I think Streak is called Lucid. And he said, but I just wanted to make sure you're fine, Prateek, because we spoke in 2014.
Okay.
And I just want to make sure you're all right.
This is which year?
2018.
Okay, 4 years.
4 years. So he's like, I just want to make sure everything's fine, you're all right, everything's okay. So I was like, oh, that's so nice of him. So I said, no, thank you. He's like, cool, thanks, bye. I've come all the way from Noida and he's saying no. So, and then he stood up and I'm like, should I go? So, paise nahi milenge kya? No, and then I go. Then I'm standing downstairs, the Zerodha office with Uber, again filled with self-doubt. Oh, Prateek, you failed for the 99th time all over again. You're a professional failure. And then I call Nithin. I'm like, I just called Nithin. Why did I call him? He's like, yeah, Prateek, what's up? I'm like, I have one more deck. I can show you a new business I am also passionate about. He's like, oh, cool. You want to send the deck? I'm like, Of course, I'm just going to the airport. I'll send you the deck in a bit. Cool. I cut the phone.
Was there a deck?
And then I called Swati. I'm like, we need a deck. He's like, about what? I said, I don't know. Think of some idea.
Okay.
I'll think, you think. By the time I get to hotel, we'll merge the ideas. So we both wrote about how education can be scaled, the market scientist idea. And we should start an academy on that. But then, it's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
And then we said,
It's not kind of crazy. It's
pretty crazy.
It's crazy, all out crazy.
it's crazier what Nithin does. Because I would never do this.
Okay.
I don't think I can do it today also. Even if I was as rich as Nithin.
Okay.
I think people mistaken Nithin's wealth for money. People don't know he's wealthy because he doesn't want more and he has a very big heart. He genuinely cares. So let me tell you how. And I think Nithin would have forgotten also, by the way, about this. Usko yaad bhi nahi hoga. And then we merge these. I'll show you the deck actually. And the deck, humne 10 years of mehnat we put in that deck. We beautified it. And it was the world's worst deck. It was horrible. And the deck basically said he will stream classes to CA students or some shit we wrote. And he says, and then I gave it to him. He's like, hey, dude, I just saw the deck. I'm like, yeah, Nithin. This is very different from the algo platform you were suggesting. I'm like, yeah, I'm also passionate about this. I can't someone be passionate about two ideas. He's like, So you're also passionate about this? I'm like, yes, education to raglan pe.
Yeah.
He's like,
Family business.
Yeah. He's like, I said, okay. He's like, so he doubted this. He's like, he's just trying to get funding for whatever, which is true. I was trying to get funding for whatever. And by the way, don't send him whatever decks. It doesn't work like that anymore. And then he said, Prateek, don't build this business. Ye bahut kharab business hai. I don't think it will work. Here's 1.7 crore rupees that I'm betting on you. Whatever you build, I have already backed. And we got that money before the idea of LearnApp was gone.
And so when you tell us about the first version of LearnApp, how many people joined? I mean, we know the story of, like we've seen your videos about your team podcasts, employee podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was like the initial idea for it? And
So the initial idea was, how can we make it look like really well-produced videos? And because there is a trust deficit in markets and in finance and learning about stocks, how can you do this without selling a product? Because the moment you sell a product and you do content, there is misalignment. Unless the person's really trusted, some people do it really well, jahan pe there is trust, but it's tough to do. And we were unknown, so, tough to do. Like if Deepak Shanai, for example, sells me a product, I know galat nahi hoga. He has a standing over here, so he's okay, he wo kar sakta hai. But some random dude, you cannot trust. So trust deficit khatam karna, and it should be pure education and fun to watch. And so we said, okay, but what if it was taught by actual people who manage money, all the mutual fund managers, billionaire hedge funds. So I was still thinking hedge fund in my mind. And they can teach trading, so it's legit.
yeah.
And we just shoot it well. That's why we learned how to produce videos and do all of this. So that was the original idea. I designed it myself because I love designing. The website was designed and all. Then we got a fantastic designer and then we did that. So that was the original video first. And should I tell you how we launched?
Yeah.
Cool. So everyone who joined was an intern. Pulkit's intern, Supriya was intern. Everyone is intern because you can't afford more than that. And 1.7 crores back then felt like all the money in the world. I'm like, itna kya kariye? I think we were taking very low salaries also back there, so it didn't matter. And once all this happened, Nithin tried it out. He's like, we can announce it at the blog. I'm like, blog mein kaun dega? Then he put it in the blog, introduced us, and then he sent a push notification on Kite. And then things just blew up. Everyone went to the website and they saw it. And that day I learned something.
Yeah.
That distribution gives you amazing push. But that push happens only once. Your product NPS, Net Promoter Score, which is like, do people like your product, use it, it becomes sticky, and will they tell their friends about it? That is why a product wins. It does not win only because of distribution. Distribution gives you a great spike. I don't want to name, but there are a lot of influencers out there who launch stuff and they say, itna ARR ho gaya, itna million paisa ban gaya. you can't calculate ARR based on 7 days of sales. You have to get enough sales that the stickiness is high. And for that, you need a fantastic team to build a great product. So these are two different things. Distribution, really important, but good product, very, 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 very important. So I don't think LearnApp was built that well initially. It could have stickiness of users. So a lot of the users came, user and just dropped off.
So we spoke about the first version of LearnApp,
Yeah.
which you felt that it's not sticky enough.
Yes.
So then how did things start rolling then from there?
So we had to make more videos, more, and the initial videos was mad. So Radhika knows this. I had to get Radhika to do one of the courses. Do you know about this story?
Yeah, not the story. I know Ravi.
All right. So Radhika was great even then. Now she's even better.
Yeah.
But she was fantastic back then. And I was like, dude, if I go to Radhika, she will be like, what's the website? Kitne log aate hain? There's no website.
Okay. And how do, yeah, exactly. That's also what.
Nothing.
How do you get these people on?
Yeah, I'll try to find the file,
Yeah.
but Photoshop master. So we created that Photoshop. Knights taught us that, you can dream big. So we made a page and we added all mutual fund competitors of Radhika on that page. And we said, Mahesh Patil, Aditya Birla teaching asset allocation. Aise karke we made a page. And I opened it up in Chrome like it was a web page. And then I went to her, got an appointment, met her, really tough by the way. And I said, मैम सब मान चुके हैं, आप नहीं हो, अच्छा लगता है? अच्छा लगता है ना इतने सब लोग में? 2 hours of your time, asset allocation. She's like, Mahesh Patil, Mila, no, he changed the course, asset allocation. And I'll bring props and please, 2 hours. For financial literacy, lakhs of people will do this. Please do this. She's like, what's the website name? It's learnapp.com. How many registered users we have? 5 lakh users. We will her. Eventually. Please, just 2 hours. Just, मैं बहुत दूर से आया. Can I have some water? So she was a little confused. Does the website exist? But he's very enthusiastic and everyone's there. ठीक है, I'll give you 2 hours. And then I went with a bunch of props. We put the camera, just me and Anish. And I would set it up. He would set up the other. I'd do the mic check. But Naveen Bhai is doing here. I'd make sure sound aa raha hai. I'd double check. Ask questions. Get the course shot. See it. See the footage. Check koi log mein issue to nahi hai. And that was how we shot the first few courses of. I think I did like 50 trips to Bombay that year. I think for Mahesh Patil and Aditya Birla, we sat outside business style, sat outside his reception. कि कभी तो पास करेंगे तो मैं रोक के बोल दूंगा, फिर मैं राधिका को फोटो दिखा दूंगा, तो ऐसा था वो.
So okay, so that was LearnApp. And then when did you decide to switch and pivot to 01?
So when we were doing this, ये साथ वाला building is Nithias. That's where we did all of this site for LearnApp. And we said we need na people watch these videos and leave. We need them to come back. So we'll start this new thing called workshops, where we'll have multiple cameras and there'll be mentor who'll stream every alternate day. And because of that, people will come. And therefore the subscription will be renewable because there is recurring usage. So we said, okay, we have to make this the best freaking workshops the world has ever seen. And I think we did. Even today, I think we are undoubtedly the best. And we were doing that. And then recurring started happening. People started coming more, they started paying again and again. I'm like, cool, this is good. And it's also scalable because it's like 2 mentors streaming to thousands of people. That's happening again and again. So people loved it and live animation plays. It's great. And it's relevant to what happened last week. So gold versus silver, you stream, you watch, and then it's great. Now, COVID happens. And then usage goes through the roof. And we will not take funding and we will grow slowly and it's fine, etc. Everyone else took funding. And they started bidding up all the performance ads that we also used to do. We used to run actual ads to get people to see what LearnApp is and hopefully buy the course if they like it. But because we had all these amazing people saying, there were no false promises. Like make 1 crore to matlab asset allocation. We were like on the other side of the spectrum. And we did one course that I really wish I did not. We did how intraday trading works. I think that one course maybe we should not have. Because when we introduced MACD and all that, we started saying that this is called a buy signal. And then people assumed that is a buy. So I think 10, 20 days after the course went live, people started saying, sir, where should I buy? I'm like, oh, ye to garbad ho gaya. So then we deleted that course.
Okay.
But we never went close to here's how you buy. Like it just never made sense. So I'm happy about that. We just taught people and people happy about it. Just don't give fake promises, na? Like it's okay. Now, after COVID, people got tongue off online classes. They're like, oh, yaar, I've taken like 20,000 workshops and webinars now. I don't want one more digital product. I want to like go offline. So that this market of people learning online for like paying to do it, like vanished. And also the cost to acquire these users became so expensive because everyone was running performance ads and burning cash and you were doing it profitably. So now the CAC went up so much that we could not acquire anyone. And it became really tough to sustain. And that was the tough part of this company. South Asian anxiety pills, I was depressed. All that happened is very, very scary. To be honest, went bankrupt 3 times. This is not, abhi to has ke bol raha, but it was very tough. But that's okay. And then spoke to, we said we should then, but there's one business which keeps making money, which was the B2B business. So if we did anything for a business, once you're their vendor, they just keep making a payment again and again. So we did these classes and all this for them. So he said, why don't we just change to B2B? So we don't have to acquire users. And we just keep getting recurring income from like the business. So I told this to Prateek and Nithin and everyone. They're like, you know, if you can make this, you can power like a live thing on Varsity, like we'd love to partner you.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, again, Bade Bhaiya has come to help. And we did it. We said, I think it should be called Varsity Live. And if you go to Varsity's website right now and you see a live section, it's completely powered by our technology, our streaming, our practice. The mentors are ours, and Karthik has designed the curriculum, which is, and that's the best, right? Like we are doing the production and everything, the mentors, the retaining of staff, all of that. And Karthik is one of the best curriculum builders of finance in the world, in my opinion. Like it couldn't be a better fit. And we just crossed 2 lakh, 2.5 lakh, 2.3 lakh, 2.3 lakh registrations. Really proud about that. We've also partnered Symbiosis College, Amrita University, NMIS, all these universities. There's one university which you have to take this class to get 5 credits out of 100 to actually get your degree. So that was a big win. I should write about that actually. And we signed an MOU on that. So that was awesome. But it's not B2C anymore. It's not visible anymore. You know?
Yeah.
So
but then what about 01, right?
Yeah.
Like,
surprisingly, it was called 01 by LearnApp. Why it was running here. And no one really gave a shit about it. We didn't get views, nothing happened. And went to Nithin after we did this B2B thing. And he's like, what do you want to do now? Kya tumko karna hai life mein? And I think that question itself is a privilege. How many of us can stand next to someone who's like a brother, who has the means and everything to look into your eyes and say, what do you want to do? Tell me. Right? So lucky to be in that position. And like Swati and I really want to start a media company. We've started this 01 by LearnApp, which is 0 to 1 journey of money on Instagram. But it's not doing so well. We need a little more like push. He's like, media, what do you mean? He's like, why don't you make a sample? So then we made Perspective, was it? I think we made some sample and he had a look and he's like, dude, this is, and he was in Delhi. So we were at the Marriott, I think. I forgot. I think it was Marriott. It was one of my favorite restaurants, K3, whichever hotel that's in. It's fantastic. We had lunch over there. We eating. And those were the days where I could have lunch and no one would recognize me.
hi, Prateek.
Hi, Prateek.
Love your videos.
And then we eating. And then I'm like, I have this video. Do you want to see the sample? He's like, sure. And it's a 25-minute video. And I'm assuming he'll watch like 2 minutes. Bro, he sat down, watched the entire 25 minutes. You're sitting there, looking at each other, ki, acha hai, nahi hai. And Nithin has poker face. Pata hi nahi hai, is it? And he's like, this is awesome. But you need to make these changes. You can't be nurturing companies and all that. And I'm like, yeah, fine, cool. He's like, yeah, I think I'll get back to you. And he's like, we also want to do a media play. If we can do this together. I said, what does that mean? He's like, we'll do a joint venture where both of us will own this 01 thing. And we will build, you can build the thing as you want. It was not called network. The 01 as you want. And you just build media and we'll support you in and out. And we've known you for 10 years, so it's fine.
Yeah.
So we started.
Yeah.
We started making that. Pehla saal ho gaya, I think it did decently well. But we were doing like 30,000-40,000 views per video back then. Zerodha doesn't care about views. We do. I care about views from an educator angle. If I am telling someone that these are Telegram tips you have to stay away from, and like 20,000 people see it, I have not done my job well. I want 100,000 people to see it and tell their friends so that no one gets caught in this Telegram scam shit. So the views really matter to me, and we are not monetizing the videos. So more views does not equal money for us. It does not equal sponsor for us. It is actually just impact, right? What else do we get out of it? So I was like, if we're going from LearnApp to media, then the impact better be 10x. Otherwise, what's the fucking point of doing this? But this is really nice. I think you're an extremely good host. You're an extremely good listener. I've seen when you started off, how you've evolved. You absolutely love what you do. Today when I got up, I'm like, Akankya's coming all the way to do this. I have so much privilege that I'm able to do this for you. You're able to talk to the team. Thank you for this.
Yeah.
It was very, very nice and obviously the highlight of my day. But I really, really enjoyed myself.
Yeah. And thank you so much for building this network thing. Like,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.